I really can't let my eyes off this. This really is work. Is motorcycles. Whoa, I saw a little hard front end braking there. You can see the rider starting to get a little fatigued.
Look
now
at
we're
this.
coming up on another motorcycle. He's handing off something off. Dylan.
Uh-oh, what's this?
Dylan.
What are we
All
seeing
right,
here?
Looks like we're in a residential neighborhood. Maybe this is coming to an end. Love to look at what you guys are asking, talking about on the YouTube.
Hey everybody, Crash Test Code here. We've got another one. Let's go. Got a sport bike. Looks like a guy goes to the track.
Thank you, Simon Task. You made my Friday.
Got a number plate.
Woo!
He's wearing full gear. He's got dreads.
Whoa, splitting it. We're online. Hey, everybody. If you guys are just joining us, thank you, first of all. Not a pursuit, oddly enough. Well, actually, it's not so odd. Take a look at this. Motorcyclist, the only one apparently was speed. Started up in, I'm venturing to say, Altadena area. If you guys are local, you know where that is. Right now, you can clearly see it. We put up the little bit of a map, and we made our way onto the 101 freeway. We just picked it up over in the Echo Park area, slowing down a little bit there. Looks like we're going to be getting off the freeway again. Don't know if that's hair. I don't know. I don't know if that's hair. I don't know if that's hair, or maybe he's got a scarf.
It's dreads.
That's not a scarf. And ascot. He's wearing an ascot. You know, I don't want to poke too much fun at this because this motorcycle is moving at very, very high speeds. We've seen these come to unfortunate ends very quickly. I venture to say that's the wrong side of the road. I don't care what country you're in. He was going against traffic, making a big old U-turn there. I guess we were off at Vermont and getting back onto the Hollywood freeway. It is busy out here. This is, you know, I'm usually the traffic guy, and I can tell you this is a spot where it's always slow, always heavy as I drive it myself. You saw that helicopter flying through the shot. That's going to be the sheriff's ship. The sheriff's ship is over it, even though we're in LAPD area, and this is a this started out as a CHP following possible pursuit. Sounded like they had a motorcycle, a California highway, like a chippy, like the old school chippy behind them for a little bit.
Yeah, good luck with that.
It was hard to hear that person's mic. I got to be very honest. But they backed off. They kind of gave it away.
Don't have a choice.
We've been listening to it, and it is. It really is. It's one of those things. It really is just a want for speed. And is it worth it? You know, these are the calls that law enforcement have to make out there. This is one of the ones also where I'd love to look at what you guys are asking, talking about, chatting about on the YouTubes and also on the Fox app. But I really can't let my eyes off this because this really is work. That motorcycle moving very, very quickly, and it is hard to keep up and keep that shot framed and keep an eye on where this guy is going. Or gal, you know, I'm just going by all that hair back there. I'm venturing to say that that is a male driver for no reason at all. Anyways, you can see that bike clearly a little bit tricked out. Either that or this person really knows his motorcycles. Whoa, I saw a little hard front end braking there, dipping down. Yeah, you can hear in my voice. I am not happy about this. Watching this, there was a lot of crazy moves there.
Not happy about it, y'all.
Might be very experienced, but again, kind of pushing it to the limit, pushing the bike to the limit, and then also he's got a lot going on, and you just don't want, you know, one little mistake and it's going to be a problem. Back onto the freeway, basically did a little get around the traffic.
He's obviously a skilled rider.
Couldn't do it as well as he can right there on that bike.
Looked like he went past the cop right there.
Making his way. Again, you see it. Just the weaving in and out, the hard braking.
This is a guy who's very comfortable on the bike.
That kind of scared me. Anyhow, the original one is going to be speed. What's going on right now? Evading law enforcement. It's a motorcycle. What are they going to do? You're going to get a cruiser behind it? How are you going to make that happen? Come on, guys. So the helicopter staying with it. I just heard some conversation. Maybe Dylan still has me potted up. I do talk a lot, if you guys haven't noticed that. My pilot has a lot going on other than listening to me yammer. But I'm wondering if the sheriff's ship has departed or stopped following it. Yeah, he's still there, apparently. But they're just keeping an eye on it.
This motorcycle is very little danger to the public.
It's like, whose call is this? Right now we're in LAPD's territory. It was in CHP's for a while. Who's gonna take it? And again, I'm looking at it, and the numbers, 70-something miles an hour. Can you get a ticket for that? Sure you can. But usually when you're going 70, you're not weaving through a bunch of cars going 30. Yeah, now he's picking it back up to 100 miles an hour. That bike is
100. They always say 100.
Nifty. I almost want to say it's a Honda. I'm sure a lot of people are going to correct me on that and school me. But all it is, I can tell you right now, it is moving along very, very quickly. This rider, clearly experienced rider.
Yep.
But again, just
you can
one
tell.
little mistake out here. This is not a racetrack.
Yeah, you don't want to make a mistake. That's true.
Happen to him.
You just don't make a mistake, and you'll be all right.
Live where?
The number plate kind of tells you a little bit about who this guy is, as far as his experience goes.
Fox channel. If you guys are just joining us, this is not a pursuit. I got to say it, not a pursuit. This is a motorcyclist, and they kind of just let it go, but the rider's still driving.
He looked up at the chopper. Yeah.
Very high speeds. Now we're starting to get into the downtown area. Dylan, my pilot today at Skyfox, on the tiller. And this is one of those ones that's very difficult to keep an eye on it. Dylan, if you can, just stay over him.
Yeah, because the bike can change direction so easily. It's much harder for the chopper.
And if we lose him, we're going to lose him. Again, there's a sheriff's ship nearby. And they ventured to just kind of let it go. The original want just speed. But this vehicle continuing.
Look at all the effort they put into it just for a guy that speeds on a motorcycle.
Quick turns. I don't know where you joined.
Very little threat to the public.
We were on the
it's not really about the threat to the public. It's about, the threat to authority.
It's LA traffic. About 30 miles an hour.
That's really what it's about.
70 and getting up into the 90s at a couple of moments. There you go. Take a look at that.
Look at him moving.
Back up into the hundreds. And
into the hundreds.
Coming up on the 4 level. I know this area pretty well. And we're going to have a tough time right here. Shucks.
Shucks.
Okay, there he is. Looks like he's going back onto the 101.
There's a police chopper.
Yeah, 101, but we're not going into
Probably
Hollywood.
A sheriff.
We're going to stay right here. He should pop out. There he is. And it looks like we're going to be taking the 101 through the downtown Los Angeles area.
Blowing like water around rocks in a stream.
Along very, very quickly. I'm halfway. It's one of those ones. I can't really say. Am I happy that he's back on the freeway because we can keep a better eye on him? But again, he's touching those triple digits on that motorcycle. It seems like this rider pretty experienced.
You
but
think?
Again, if you haven't heard me before, this is not a racetrack. And one little accident, one little mistake, one little misjudgment, and this could just become very tragic. And we've seen motorcyclists cause injury and death to drivers inside of cars as well. Nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. I definitely don't want to see it, and I don't want to put it on television like that. But again, you can see it right now. This vehicle is still continuing to evade speeds. I don't have to call them out. You can read them. Looks like we're going to be transitioning again, and it looks like we're going to be heading into the Boyle Heights area. If you guys are local, you know it. Because I know News Now, you guys are national. Again, this is going to be one of those, could be very, very busy spots. A lot of traffic in this area. Usually I'm going to go a little wider. Promise I won't lose it. And it seems pretty open right there. My pilot, Dylan, actually listening, and I appreciate it, helping us out there. A lot of off-ramps and a lot of options out here. It looks like we're going to be taking
Keep switching it up,
First Street,
probably to throw off the direction calling.
We've seen these riders in the past. They'll find a parking garage. They'll find an area underneath some trees. They're not unknowledgeable the fact that they're being followed
Chopper's
by a helicopter,
still there, just went
not
through
just
the frame.
Skyfox, but by the sheriff's ship. So possibly this rider is going to try to hide and walk away from the bike. I don't think he's going to let that bike go. It does look like a very nice motorcycle. Making our way across the First Street Bridge. Not as famous as the 6th.
You go
Street
where the
bridge,
bike goes, the bike goes where you go.
An iconic bridge out here in the Los Angeles area. Going to be making his way into the arts district area.
Never leave a man behind.
But again, just right now, this rider really, truly just running from his own demons.
He's not running from his own demons. He's running from that police chopper and you, mister.
But again, nobody's really taking the, okay, we're going to get in a position, we're going to throw out some spike strips. They're just keeping an eye on him. Coming up to Alameda, that's going to be the next major. And, he's
something
in the middle
important
lane,
for this is make sure you
this
have enough
gas. This is going to be one of
gas.
those ones, too, where you could go north
We've
or
seen
south.
so many where they run out of fuel.
There's a lot of parking garages out here. There's a lot of shopping areas out here. There's a lot of places. There's a sheriff's helicopter where he could just drop the bike. You can see those numbers all over it. I believe that's some sort of a Honda. Probably a CBR, but I'm sure somebody out there is probably challenging me on that.
Or a Gixxer is what I think
I've been wrong in the past. I'll be wrong in the future, and I might be wrong right now. But I can tell you, very dangerous pursuit as this motorcycle continues to make these high-speed moves out here on these surface streets near some freeways. I understand.
Notice
California
how the buildings
Highway
and the
Patrol
trees make it hard for them to see.
And I don't know how they're going to do it. Get back into pursuit of this vehicle. We're just going to keep following and keep an eye on it.
There's no ground units that can keep up with it.
There's going to be somebody not paying attention, just driving and not expecting a motorcycle to be going close to 100 miles an hour, and this is going to end in a tragic way. Right now, though, this bike kind of slowing down a little bit. Maybe this person, the adrenaline might be wearing off. Maybe he's starting to do the, where can I leave this bike? How can I get out of this? We've seen these things where they've made phone calls.
Why even chase him? Why even do this? Why even pursue him?
It looks like he's slowing down.
As soon as they quit following him, he'll slow down.
Yeah, I did see those brakes. So now he's underneath.
But no, you can't do that. Can't let one escape.
Keeping an eye.
They may not have a choice on this one.
Let me go a little bit wider because he might be. There he is. He's back out again, and continuing on. But we've seen in the past where they've made phone calls. They've had friends come pick them up. Lots of things like that. With the bike, might be able to do the same thing. Might be able to find a spot, take off the jacket, take off the helmet, have one of his friends pick him up and drive away. Later on, try to get the bike. But this is one of those ones again. This is downtown Los Angeles, and the pursuit continues. But really, is it a pursuit or a following? That's really up to you guys. Ooh, that's a busy intersection. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go?
You could turn around underneath that, behind that building right there.
Make a U-turn up. There he is.
And then kind of just go around the building.
Why? There's no reason for that. We're going to do a little pirouette with the camera. Hope everybody is taking their
now he's directly underneath the chopper.
Here we go.
Hard for them to follow him like that
and
when they're underneath.
Continuing on. I got to reset up the camera before
Look
I really
how hard it is to see him from that distance.
Yep, that little dot. That's who we're following, that motorcycle right there. And continuing. Looks like this rider does know the city pretty well. Looks like we're getting back onto the freeway. This is one of the ones, again, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? We've seen him on the freeway making those really high-speed maneuvers around vehicles. Nobody wants to see that. It's one of those ones, every time he gets really close or splits the lanes, you get panicky. You don't know. That driver
you get panicky,
might be
sir.
like, let me change lanes. And
this rider isn't panicking at all.
Coming up on him at 80, maybe 100 miles an hour. In those split-second moves, that's where it all could go wrong.
Experienced riders don't panic.
There you go. The bike's really starting to open up again. You can read it right there. We're going to get back onto the southbound 5 freeway. This started up in the Altadena area. Again, I know this is news now, so a lot of folks, this is a national thing. Altadena, pretty far from here, and he is going the opposite direction of Altadena. He's kind of going away from that area. That doesn't mean that maybe he was up there running errands, who knows. And he lives out to the south. I'm wondering if they do have information on the license plate of that vehicle.
There is
because
no
if they
plate
do
on
have
that bike.
they might have a registered owner. It was just speed. This isn't a stolen bike. So they could just say, hey, well, we know where this person lives. We'll just show up at his door. We'll door knock him in a week or so and say, hey, what were you doing out there? We want to talk to you.
What were you doing out there?
Or possibly they weren't able to, because a lot of these sport bikes, they like to, play that game where they have the license plates hidden. They are mounted. They are legally there, but are they easily visible? Probably not. They're usually mounted behind that tire, and you can't really see them.
That's the whole point.
We just don't know. I don't have that information right now. These speeds seem reasonable if there was no traffic. There's a lot of traffic down there. You're watching it, and every time he gets by those cars and kind of shares the lane, it really, truly, my stammering isn't for effect. My stammering is literally because I do worry that this could come to an end very, very quickly.
Camera glitch. Good shot of him there, though.
They decided, well, we're going to back off and we're going to keep those.
What's he doing?
What are you doing? What, Sandra? What are they?
Wow.
And this is the thing too. We see all that hair going on down there, and I don't want to go and assuming guy or gal, but I just kind of venture to say maybe it's a guy.
He's got something in his hand now. Could that be the camera?
You can see the rider starting to get a little fatigued, riding with one arm.
Is he fatigued?
With one
look.
hand right
What's
there.
this?
Don't know what that other action was.
Look
now
at
we're
this.
coming up on another motorcycle. He's handing
off
something off.
The camera.
Yeah,
wow.
You know what? I would venture to say, you know what? I'm going to take a stab at this.
Wow.
And somebody's going to say you're wrong. I venture to say that was some kind of GoPro.
Yep.
I bet you the motorcyclist just handed off the GoPro for some reason. What that was all about, don't know. And we were talking about this earlier.
That's quite amazing.
We were on the internet. It is a motorcyclist, but they
right
have
in the middle of a pursuit. He's had a friend come and meet him.
Everything is,
and his friend was so cool to come and meet him in the middle of a pursuit.
So maybe this person was making phone calls, trying to get somebody to
wild.
meet them. Maybe
that's
that
a good
was
friend.
A rider that
that's the
that
bike life. That's the motorcycle community, y'all.
Whatever they just handed off. Again, though, this right now doesn't look that dangerous. But then when you look at those speeds and you realize you're going 90 miles an hour.
Danger is kind of relative to skill.
I'm just so worried that somebody's going to make a turn and this is going to end in a bad way.
That's right. Not only for the motorcyclists, of course, Stu, but
all
the drivers down there as well. Not expecting somebody to be a bullet coming
shows he's
past
smart
them
right there,
at
in my
100
opinion.
miles per hour on the highway.
Look,
on a motorcycle. Well,
another person.
It looks like they're trying to engage that car right there, maybe talking to them.
Yeah.
But you also wonder if there's a GoPro involved, if they're making calls, connecting with another motorcycle, if this is a joyride or some kind of stunt.
Most people.
Well,
I don't want to say most people, but a lot of people don't have a problem with somebody on a motorcycle like doing this.
And we just don't know. I was taking a stab at it. It's been a while since I've been doing anything with motorcycles. I think that's a CBR. I think that's a Honda. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure somebody out there is going to know better than me. But it definitely has racing tags on it.
Racing fairings.
Those are numbers that don't know. I mean, this could be somebody who
has
is
no
a
plate.
professional rider on the weekends or
does
racing.
Probably.
And maybe that's one of the reasons why it didn't stop, because maybe the motorcycle isn't registered and they just don't want
the track bike.
Look
at him.
Impounded. What they're doing right there, very clever. We can't see them right now, but how long are you going to pull that off? And is this what what is this? Is this like going to be one of those Fast and Furious? Is
he could go under a bridge and stop.
The bike's going to go into one of the cargo
and then
containers?
they would keep following the trucks,
so.
and he could turn around and go the other direction in that situation. That would be a killer move.
For a few moments, but this rider clearly seems to be pretty comfortable in a very tense situation, which just adds to all those questions. Who is this person?
Right.
Why are
Who is that masked man?
Why are we still pursuing it? Because a lot of times we'll hear policy and law enforcement will just let a bike go.
Yeah, why are you
because of
pursuing
the dangers
him?
and the high speeds.
That's right, and you said this was in Compton. Are we still in that area now? I see, yes, Compton.
Waste of resources.
And
yes,
clearly very comfortable, knowing their way, navigating through the highway there, and definitely through the streets, almost kind of showboating at this point. Just weaving in and out
These news people
of the lanes.
are hilarious.
And so far, again, the initial pursuit was a response to the speed.
Ooh.
Right. That in a lot of times, you know,
we can't have one thinking for itself.
A lot of times, law enforcement, especially with a motorcycle, they will, you know, if it just speed, they will just kind of let it go, or they will try to get a license plate, and then they'll door knock those people later on, or make a note somewhere. And if the bike gets pulled over, it's something that they'll talk about. But you can see it. This motorcycle, very maneuverable, high speeds on the freeway. Any CHP vehicle except another motorcycle would have a hard time keeping up with this.
Even another motorcycle.
Even the motorcycle
cannot do it.
You know, I'm sure a lot of the California
not a police issue motorcycle.
California Highway
not going to happen.
Guys, they are trained at high-speed driving, high-speed maneuvering with their motorcycles, and those big bikes, they are very agile. But to keep up with this high-speed motorcycle that clearly has a race look to it. That's all I'm going to say right now. Yeah. It would be very difficult. Looks like we're going to be getting off the freeway, Sandra. We'll see what happens. Once we get off here, it says we're at the west side.
Most police officers on motorcycles are not like street hooligans. They're not go-fast guys.
And at such a high rate of speed right there, and then now you're thinking about residential streets,
not worth it for them.
Streets. Wow, but I can't get over how comfortable this
guys
driver
like this
is
do this just for fun.
Fast, like a
so he's riding like he normally does, probably.
Cars.
Just totally,
and again, getting up
just
the
a
freeway
cruise
there on
for
the
the most
west
part.
side,
A
and
normal
now
cruise.
unsuspecting drivers going the speed limit on these surface streets and not knowing or prepared for something like this to just whiz by them.
Definitely.
Whee!
And, you know, this is our assignment desk and my bosses, as they would be. You know, we're probably going to stay with it as long as we can.
Yeah, the trusty news
there's
people.
There's always that possibility this rider will pull off the road, put up the kickstand.
So both of
grab
the police choppers have left and said, we're out of here.
Who knows?
But the news chopper, nope. Johnny Do Good, got to get the biker.
We're not, and that's it. The wind blowing in his hair. Yeah, that's right, Bromar.
He's just
that
chilling.
Right.
He's looking right at him.
Anyways, we're keeping an eye on this, and
he's like, "You still here?"
Chases where this is where we're going to give up, passing by one of those cyber trucks.
Just go home, news guy.
We are going to be going a different direction than the freeway, and well, like I said, I'll make an effort as long as we can, but I think more and more we are going to start losing the picture, and this motorcyclist is going to, this is another day, he or she might get away.
He or she might get away. Oh, yeah. They know. It's starting to set in for them. Starting to set in.
We can't push a button and go stealth and go into the TFR. And also it is for it is the air show one, right, Dylan? Oh, he's talking to somebody.
Look, they're having to hang back a little bit more and more and more because he's going into an airspace restriction because there's an air show happening. And this gentleman here on the bike probably knows it. He's probably been talking to his friends on the telephone in his helmet, and now they're just saying, "Hey, go over here, like where this air show is going on, or like close to the airport or wherever." He keeps looking to see like how far back are they. He sees them fading away. He's watching them fade away.
I'd like to follow it, Dylan.
And the news guy wants to keep the pilot was saying, "Do you want to keep following this?" He goes, "I want to still keep doing it." Go home, man.
Yeah,
He's no danger to anybody. Look at him.
He's getting off the freeway. He's over by John Wayne, I think. Yeah.
He's talking to somebody in the car.
If he goes south, he's going into the TFR? All right, we'll figure it out here in just a moment. Sorry, anybody and everybody, if you guys have got us on the internet, this is, behind the scenes-esque as it would be. I want to give you guys information. I want to talk to you. I want to let you know what's happening. But I'm also kind of still working in here. And also, just so you know.
They talking to him. They say, just go ahead and go.
Myself. I'm not talking to voices in my head. Looks like he's getting back onto the freeway, Dylan. Making that move did speak to somebody. Who knows what that was all about? I can't even begin to guess that these are planned meetings. I would just say that those are just random.
Yeah.
That bike really kind of
people
kicking
don't
it back
care.
up again, getting up into the triple digits, and is not one of those things you want to see. And
Only
in the emergency
Karens
lane
for the
right
most
now,
part.
looking behind him there. I
Karens
don't know
and
if
male
checking for traffic
Karens.
or checking for law enforcement doesn't really make any difference. Look ahead of you, buddy.
News people
Just
are
look ahead.
male Karens and
yeah, we're
Karens.
getting back into those crazy rides. Triple digits, moving through traffic, quick lane changes.
Just riding.
This is, you know,
It's like a normal
this is
ride.
end of lens right here.
What is this?
As far as we in Skyfox
He's
go.
looking.
So we can get a little closer with digital. That's it. But it gives you an idea at the distance that the spike is creating between us and the helicopter.
Watch him
we
fade
are
away.
climbing as well as making our way forward. So there is a little bit of that. Looks like we are getting back off the freeway again. Dylan, if you're got
Oh,
me.
what a cool turn.
He's busy talking to somebody else, so I'm going to keep an eye on him. Getting back off the freeway, looks like Warner. That's what it says on my machine. And definitely taking Warner. Definitely taking Warner off the freeway.
Hardly anybody even on the roads.
And he's going behind us, Dylan, if you got me. No,
He's
you don't
far
have me.
away.
Perfect.
They've zoomed in so far on him.
So definitely going behind us. There's Dutch Brothers. It would have been good coffee.
So even if
And
the
let's see
chopper
where he pops
moves,
out here.
it
Please
can't
make a turn,
move
thank goodness. So
quickly
we're not
enough
getting too
to
far
get
from it.
around a
Dylan,
building.
you still got me? Dylan?
Uh-oh, what's this?
Dylan?
What are we
All
seeing
right,
here?
Looks like we're in a residential neighborhood. Maybe this is coming to an end. Looks like he's parking it. Dylan?
Yeah, he's parking.
He is. He's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. He just stopped behind this industrial area. He's behind a tree. Of course he is. Coming around to 12, and if we can go.
What is that?
forward
Looks like a
from
car
here, that would
wash?
be helpful.
Is it a car wash or some
Maybe
kind
he
of
was just late to work.
a service center? Some kind. Yeah, it looks like a car wash, kind of, right? Car wash detailing place. So he went
And,
like around the
just
trees. They
wondering
couldn't
if
see
anybody
him.
Possibly saw this guy pop out someplace
Then he went
else.
into the building.
The last
It looked
spot I
like.
saw him was get behind the tree, and then the bike kind of just disappeared for me. I don't know if he made a little bit of a U-turn.
Hey,
or
go
what
home,
he
buddy.
did, but that was the last place I saw him, and you can't blame anybody but me. This was one of those ones where Dylan is keeping us alive and safe. And that it is what it is. But again, just more
he's so
trees,
sad.
more trees. I can't see anything.
Gonna cry. You're gonna cry.
Can we
Stu,
move
you
a
gonna
little
cry,
more
Stu?
forward, or are you working with somebody?
See how much they're so far away that even when
I
they
don't know
move
if
the
he's there.
chopper,
We
it
can
barely
see he's there.
moves
That'll
the
make
view.
A decision if we're going to stay or go. Tommy's. He went to Tommy's. Good choice. Okay. All right. I hear you.
See, it's got a garage open door right
Oh,
there.
he went through the drive-through. And I
he's
lost him.
gone.
I wonder if anybody else has him. Does anybody else
So it's a
have him?
restaurant with a drive-through like that, like it's completely
What about,
covered.
that other station that we don't talk about? Yeah, I bet you he went through the drive-through and he went back out. He gone.
He gone,
He
baby.
He gone.
Oh, man, darn it. Oh,
No, not really. But if you want to, we can.
oh, shucks, man, you were doing
Unless
so
he pulled
good.
into the, I didn't know there was a drive-through. I didn't even know there was a Tommy's. I don't come down here. I don't have my passport. I can't go to Orange County. My credit score isn't high enough. All right, we're done.
We done, baby. That's it, folks.